Hello and welcome to another Demon 212 Dreamcast review. Today I'm going to be taking a look at Jet Set Radio, which if you've never played it before, it's a bit of an odd one because it's a graffiti game, but it doesn't advocate graffiti, which comes up in huge messages all over the place. It's kind of like a Tony Hawk skateboarding style game, except with roller skates or rollerblades, whatever you want to call them, instead of a skateboard. And the tricks don't really matter for the most part. I mean, it's one of those, you can beat the game without ever really pulling off any major tricks or anything, and it doesn't exactly have a deep trick system, with the fact that if you tweak with slight little different buttons and that, because it's not supposed to be like that. If I'm honest, I would personally probably classify it as more of a platformer, and there's a lot of people who are probably screaming at me now for saying that, but it's more in that vein, I suppose, because you go from section to section, jumping around, jumping off things from platform to platform to get to an area to spray graffiti, to beat that section, to go on to another one to spray more graffiti, to beat the level, to go on and so forth and become the top gang type thing. It's certainly zany, insane, balls to the wall, but it is so much fun, it's unbelievable. At the start, you simply have things like internet, which doesn't work anymore, radio, which is, you know, where you change the music and that, system, which has a few settings but nothing particularly major. Graffiti's pretty cool because you can make your own graffiti, but it takes up huge amounts of data on the VMU. And then street, which is where you go to play the missions, and you'll sometimes get a selection like I've got here, but for the most part, you play what it gives you. You can then choose your character, and they've each got different abilities. So this one, Gum, has a lot more graffiti skill than Jet, who I've just been on. To be fair, saying Jet's not actually his name. Jet's the name of the game. Beats his name. Garam, who I've only just unlocked on this file, he's got more power but not as good graffiti. And it's just one of those, you'll probably find yourself playing as characters here, there and everywhere to try and get better scores, because there is also a rating system, and the rating system, it does depend on how many points you get, and that tends to depend on how much health you've got, how fast you did it, and that is when tricks can come into it, because you get points for the tricks. But it's just one of those things though that the whole point is, as I say, you're going around skating all over the place to do graffiti, and that's pretty much it. If I hit start now, which should hopefully bring up a map. Now, currently this level, to be fair, isn't actually a graffiti level, so I'm probably going to exit. I've obviously chose the wrong one. But the map comes up and it shows you a basic whereabouts as to where the graffiti sections are. It's not overly detailed because, well, it's before the time, I suppose, of fully 3D HD maps and that, where you can like move them here, there and everywhere. So sometimes you will be standing right over where the map says there's a graffiti, but you're either above it, below it, or just on the wrong side of the wall. And it's one of those that you just have to learn where to go from there, really, and just look around. And it's why there's actually quite a bit of replayability in it, because once you beat a level, that's it. You can't go back until you've fully beaten it and all that. And it does mean that there's a lot of gameplay there, because you can either strive for the best score straight away and just not save and constantly reload, or you can, you know, play it for fun, go through, and then play it for a score. But as you might be wondering, graffiti, it requires spray cans, so you don't have an infinite ammo, and you don't even have an infinite stock. You can go around and you can collect them, and you can have 20 at a time, and some graffiti, well, sections I suppose I should call them, literally take one can and one push of the left trigger. Other times there'll be large and extra large ones where they'll take a lot more cans, and it's not just a push of the trigger. I'm actually going to try and just skate around and find one of these while I'm just talking a bit, because there's a lot more depth to them. There's a lot more of an advancement, because you have to do and that's another thing I suppose I should mention with the map. It's not even detailed with that, because it doesn't show you where the large ones or extra large ones are. But I've realised that I didn't actually show the map since coming onto the level. And you go up to them when you find them, you'll know them when you see them, because they are just massive. This should be one, and there we go. And it comes up like a quick time event where I've got to do certain combinations on the analog stick in order to do it, and you get points stack up, and if you fail then the stack stops and starts again. So I've just done that there to simply show you, and I just had enough spray paint for that. but it is the type of thing that sometimes you can find 2 of them in a row and that's it, bam, that's all of your spray cans gone, so you've got to go around and find more. However, there's also different types of tags in the way of, there's green arrows, which are pretty much, they're like fine, they're safe, they're legal tender, I suppose, might be a way to put it, because you can do whatever you want with them and it won't upset anyone. However, graffiti is against the law, and that's what the whole point of the game is. You are breaking the law all the time, so the more red arrows that you spray paint, the more the police are going to get on your case. And I kid you not, I did say the game was insane. The level that precedes this one, and it's a shame that I couldn't set that one up, but the level that precedes this one, you actually have Apache helicopters, 3 of them, with missiles, constantly firing at you, kicking the crap out of you, trying to stop you from accomplishing your graffiti mission. It really is a mental game. It's incredibly fun. The controls and everything work great. However, there are some times when it can kind of screw you over a little bit, like not having the best camera in the world. You can constantly center it behind you, but it's the same button as doing the actual graffiti spraying. And sometimes you'll set up having to being able to grind on a wall, which is quite simple by jumping at the wall at an angle, and you should essentially slide off and grind, which I don't actually know if I've got a wall long enough to be able to set it up. I'll try the bus, to be fair, see if it works on that. But for everything that the controls work well on and everything that sets up great, there is a little bit of problems here, there and everywhere. It still is, though, I think one of the most insane, unique and well-made games I've played on the Dreamcast. Obviously I never had a Dreamcast at launch, but I'm pretty sure this was either at launch or near launch. So considering they managed to do such a good job with it so early on, I'm very impressed. It's just a shame that the sequel only ever came out on the Xbox. However, thankfully you can play it on the 360, because I do have it, and I am hoping to get a review of that done, only maybe with a little less wobbling. Graphically, the game looks fantastic, especially if you can run it in VGA. Musically, it sounds great, but music's obviously everyone's opinion, and there are some tracks that even I hate on the game. This is thankfully one of the tracks playing now is actually one that I quite like, so I'm going to shut up for a little bit and let you listen to it. So, that was a little bit of the music, and hopefully you at least saw that pathetic attempt to try and grind on a wall in order to spray a tag that was on the wall. You also might have noticed that you can escape the police, but not really for very long, and certain things you can't escape. For example, the Apache helicopters, the only respite I got on the level in question was when I actually found a way to go inside one of the buildings where they couldn't obviously see me. But trust me, they were waiting for me the moment I got out. So, there's not really much else I can actually mention about the game. It's not the longest game in the world. It's also a little hard, I suppose, to clarify how long it is, because for everything like this, which is a level, there's then also a section that isn't really a level. It's like pulling off a few tricks in order to get someone to join your crew. So I suppose on a technicality, if you count those as well, then there's 25 levels in the game. But I think overall, actual levels, I think there's only 15 that I counted. So there's like quite a few of those sections where you've just got someone wanting to join your crew, and if you pull off the tricks well enough, then they will, and if not, then they won't. Simple as. You are at least constantly updated, as you might have noticed, and it might have even drowned me out a little bit, that the speaker comes across basically telling you what the police are in the middle of setting up or trying to do. So it's the type of thing that it kind of not so much puts the hackers on you, but it makes you think, oh crap, I best hurry up and get the hell out of here. There's also, as well as yellow spray cans, there's blue, which I believe contain 5 spray cans, and there's red, which are just health. And it really is, that's pretty much everything you can find around to collect. Alongside, I don't even know how to describe them, they're almost like Walkman type things, which when you collect them it tells you what number it is and that, and there's all sorts of them to collect, but I haven't managed to get all of them, so I honestly don't know how many there are in the game. I think I heard someone say a long time ago, and you might have just saw one there at the very top of the screen, that there's about 100 of them, but again, I haven't been able to collect all of them, so I really don't know. For all I know, there could just be 70 or 50, or, you know, I think I've only managed to collect 20 so far, and one of them said it was number 24, so I can at least, I suppose, confirm there's at least 24 of them. But yeah, there's nothing much else I could say about the game other than sing its praises, because it is fantastic. I'm not so much exactly great at the game, as you might have noticed, and I've probably chose the wrong level to show off, because it's one that you do need to be able to concentrate and set up jumping from rooftop to rooftop, which I've managed to balls up quite marvellously, even if I do say so myself, because I'm too busy trying to talk and make sure I mention everything that I wanted to mention. But don't let my bad gameplay put you off the game, because it really is a fantastic title. It's one that's well worth looking out. If you get a Dreamcast, I honestly can't really recommend the HD remake though, because I got this first with my Dreamcast when I bought the bundle, and I loved it. So when I found out there was a HD remake, I thought, well, I'll give it a try, and I got it on the Vita for free with PlayStation Plus, and even free, I couldn't play the game. It was horrible. The controls and everything were broken, the camera was broken. I just found the gameplay really weak, and it's supposed to be the same game, so it really doesn't make much sense, but it would say to me that they've just done a very poor job in porting an amazing title, and the slightest tweaks to it are obviously enough to upset the balance of the game. So there we go then. That's been the review. I hope you found it helpful. I don't score the games because that's based purely on opinion, so instead I'll leave you to make your own mind up. So thanks for watching, and if you've got any questions about the game that I didn't answer in the vid or that hasn't been answered in the comments, then feel free to ask and I'll help if I can. Also, if you did find it helpful, don't forget to check out my channel, because there's plenty more like this up there, and don't forget to subscribe because there'll be plenty more to come as well. So until next time, this has been Demon212, signing off.